This week we're going to be discussing our final macronutrient, which is protein, and amino acids. First, what is protein? Well, like we said, it's a macronutrient that provides us with energy that's used to build all cells, tissues, organs, and hormones in the body. So remember that our other two macronutrients, meaning that they provide energy for the body, are carbohydrate and fat. So protein is that third macronutrient. Protein differs, however, from carbohydrate and fat in that it contains nitrogen. Both carbohydrate and fat, neither one of those contain nitrogen. So that nitrogen piece is really what makes protein unique, and we'll talk about that on the next slide. Proteins are made up of amino acids, and these amino acids are essentially the building blocks of protein. The backbone, as you can see here, is the same for all amino acids. So it's a carbon atom with an amine group and then an acid group attached. So that's the same for all amino acids. Doesn't matter what the amino acid is, the backbone is going to be the same. What differs between amino acids is this side chain. And the side chain can differ in size, in shape, and then in the total charge. There are 20 common amino acids. 9 of these are essential, meaning that you must consume them through the diet, so they cannot be made by the body. 11 of the common amino acids are considered non-essential. So these can be made by the body, so it's not as crucial or as vital that you consume these for food. However, some of those non-essential amino acids can actually become essential under certain conditions. So if you don't consume enough of the essential amino acids that are used to build some of those non-essential ones, then some of those non-essential ones can become essential. So for the most part, 9 are essential, 10 or 11 are non-essential, but some of those, again, can become essential during times of inadequate intake. A continuous supply of these amino acids is needed. There's a constant turnover and breakdown of protein and amino acids in the body, but they can be recycled and used to build new proteins or provide energy in the absence of glucose. So as we've talked about before, carbohydrate, glucose is our main source of preferred energy in the body, but protein can provide energy. It's not preferred, but it can provide energy for the body, and we'll talk more about this in some of the upcoming segments about protein this week. So how are proteins built? So we've talked about amino acids are these building blocks. So peptide bonds are what are linking amino acids to each other. And then these strands, so these connections of amino acids, do not necessarily remain straight. They can be coiled, they can be twisty. So the peptide bonds are really going to determine the shape of the total protein or our connection of amino acids. If we have 10 or more amino acids linked together by these peptide bonds, that's known as a polypeptide. And then, as I mentioned, with the shape, it really determines the function of the protein. So whether it's coiled, whether it's folded, the length of it, all those different side chain things that are differing in the side chain will determine the function of the protein. Genes and our nutrition definitely play a role in protein and amino acids. So the sequence of amino acids is determined by heredity. So there's a set pattern or set sequence that amino acids are supposed to be in, and an incorrect sequence can have negative impacts on health. So one example would be sickle cell disease. So during sickle cell disease, basically the red blood cells become misshapen and they're not able to carry oxygen as well. And you can see that only one amino acid is different there. So just one mess up or one mutation or one incorrect sequence can have major side effects because this limits the transport, distribution of oxygen and other important nutrients in the body. So you can see how this incorrect sequence, this mutation in the genes can definitely be negative to an individual's health. One thing about nutrition, nutrition is not going to change an individual's DNA structure, but it may influence genetic expression. So if someone consumes a lot of fat, this may actually bring out a certain genetic expression, but it's not going to change the structure of something. So that's just one important thing to keep in mind.